right, let's see what we got here. Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. Hey, what's going on, party people? Happy New Year, everybody. Shit. It's been that long already, huh? But anyway, welcome. Now, if this is your first time here, it's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much, guys, is that I help you to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And the whole idea of helping you to become mentally and emotionally balanced is just so that you can attain your highest level of consciousness. So now when we're talking about your consciousness, just so you understand what that is, right? So we're talking about your inner vision. It is said to the pure all is pure. What this is referring to, like what makes me who I am, what makes you who you are, is the perceiver in us. And that perceiving or that perceiver in us needs to strengthen his vision. And the more we vibrate on a higher frequency, the more that inner vision is getting clearer. So attaining your highest level of consciousness, it's definitely what you're truly doing. It's truly developing your inner vision. So when you look at, let's just say, when they tell you about Jesus, Muhammad, and all these guys, what they represent anybody who has enhanced or who has attained or who has became the Illuminati, who had, become the illuminated one in terms of that consciousness having a better perception or vision of what's in front of them. But for that to happen, you would have to be in more, you have to be in connection more with yourself. This is an internal affair business. And the closer you get into yourself, just like we all should know that by now, just reading a book, it's I mean, it's not guaranteed just because you know how to read or write that you're gonna understand a book that you're reading. It comes with a state of understanding that you already have. That's why, when you go to different classes or different grades, you still have a teacher. Now that teacher is not teaching you how to read or write. It's helping you to understand or to develop that inner vision that is being said or that's you know what I'm saying that's being displayed in those books or in those grades. That's why awakening your consciousness, I mean, you can't do it through books. I mean, you can, but you would already have to have it. That's why, I mean, I know for me, I have experienced that. Like, I've read books that at a certain point that I couldn't understand. And then a couple months later or years later, it's like, what the fuck? It's the same grammar, it's the same author, it's the same sentence. But what changed was my consciousness. I was perceiving it, my inner vision got better. That's when meditation comes in, right? But one of the ways, I mean, that's why how meditation is one of the ways to help you to enhance, because you have to understand what you're doing. If you're meditating on something, you're looking for an answer. And that answer is that understanding. That's why, as you going through your process, assuming that you know who you are or you are on your journey, it's important for you to open up your third eye so you could be more receptive to the universe or to more energy. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. I'm just excited. That's all it is. I'm always that way. You know what I'm saying? But this is a fair warning, especially if this is your first time. I tend to get a little bit ahead of myself because I love what I do. That's all it is. Give me a pass, please. You know what I'm saying? Don't be too harsh on me. But now, again, when you talk about Jesus, Krishna, all of these figures, they represent, that's when, if you learn about their stories, then you could see they went through trials and tribulations, and how, they had to meditate. If you're talking about Buddha, then he went under this tree, and so, and ironically, Jesus at some point had to go under a tree, but he went through the 40 days and 40 nights. you know Ultimately, this is your inner vision. This is the self development. So when we're talking about that consciousness, is having that ability now to see things from different angles. In fact, to see things more than what they appear to be. That's that awakening. That's what, that's why you're not a living corpse. Because we have a lot of living corpse, and what we call living corpse is that they are alive, they're all breathing, but yet they're not aware of that self consciousness. That's what in the occult we call the deads. But anyway, now going back to the subject at hand. Now, why is it important for you to be mentally and emotionally balanced? But most importantly, how does you being emotionally and mentally balanced help you to attain a highest level of consciousness? I mean, if that's what you're asking yourself, you're asking yourself a bunch of great questions here. But even if you're not, hey, I got you, baby. I got you. You're in good hands. So now, why is that important? Well, I mean, why does it even make sense, right? Let's try to make sense out of it, right? So let's just say hypothetically, if I'm not happy or I'm depressed, I'm going through anxiety, I'm not going to have the best perspective. Or if I'm mad, that's why, some people would tell you, you know what, it's better for you to come down. When you come down, then you make a decision, dog. Because in the heat of the moment, whatever goes. You know what I'm saying? So you don't see the full picture. Now, on the flip side of that, let's just say you are very mental, you're very, let's just say, logical. But then at this point, you're not looking at the big picture because being very logical now, you become very rigid. You don't take other people's emotion into consideration. In so many words, that's what you call a fucking asshole. An asshole, you know what I'm saying? It's an emotional less being, or a fucking selfish bastard. But I'm going to be talking about that later because that has to do with that person looking at who they are strictly from a self image perspective. So keep that in mind. But anyway, the bottom line is that, you're not in alignment. So being rigid, it's like you're being Judge Dredd. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It's the law. You become the law and everything. So you're missing out on a lot of shit. Because life, it's not black or white. I'm sorry to say it. I'm really not, but just to be politically correct. I'm being political. You know what I'm saying? Life, it's black and white and in between, motherfucker. You know, that's just the way it is. And your emotions too plays a big part. Let's just say if you were bit by a dog, right? And then now your intellect is making all the excuses, or you're creating, stuff where you would not want to be next to a dog. Oh, I'm afraid of a dog because of that happens. So your emotions have a direct impact, especially when it's not balanced, because not every dog is the same because you have a bad experience. All right, shit happens, nigga. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Shit. Dog not gonna kill you, dog. Hey, that's the way it is. But somebody who went through that, they have a limited perspective on things. So I'm saying that to say those two have to become in alignment for you to have to see beyond the veil. So therefore, for you to attain your highest level of consciousness, you would have to become in alignment with you. And that's pretty much the whole idea of mind, body, and soul. That's what that shit is. And those three parts of you that becomes one. Just like if you ready for it, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost. If that's not too strong for you. I didn't mean to hurt you. Didn't mean to make you cry, but tonight, you know what I'm saying? It's Judgment Day. Hey man, you look for it. I'm saying? You put yourself in that position. You have no idea. None whatsoever. But anyway, so now what do we mean, or what do I mean now when I'm telling you I help you? Now we understand, why is it important for, your emotions and your intellect to come together? Because now you could see the bigger picture. So now what do I mean when I'm talking about you being emotionally balanced? Most people think, for the most part, what I've seen or noticed, to be emotionally balanced is just like you don't raise your voice or you act a certain way. You don't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't quite express or say certain words. You don't do profanity. Get the fuck out of here. Now that right here has nothing to do with you being emotionally balanced at all. If anything, that's more of that mask that you're wearing. It's more of you being deceitful to others. Now, I'm not saying there's no proper way for you to express yourself. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it doesn't have to be for you not to raise your voice. Sometimes you may have to raise your voice. Now, the healthy part about it is when you're not being triggered. Because a lot of people, while they're doing that, all you got to do is you can just got to press their button. I mean, all those fake ass motherfuckers, you got to find their buttons. That's all that is with these motherfuckers. So they have nothing to do with being emotionally balanced. Whereas when you are truly emotionally balanced, nigga, shit, I'm the button. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to press nowhere. Like I got this, and I may choose not to respond to you depending on what the situation is, or if I do respond, it's not gonna be a back and forth. It's just gonna be you let a nigga know. This ain't no back and forth. This is what it is. You must got me fucked up. And that's it. We're done. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going back there no more. You see what I'm saying? So that that's what it is to be emotionally balanced. So what that entails pretty much, it's you understanding your own emotions, but most importantly, having the ability to create your emotional pattern and to respond in a way that you want to respond, but not because you're being triggered or somehow your button was pressed or they found your button. You ain't fronting my motherfucking button, nigga. What are you crazy? Yeah. You got me fucked up. Anyway, let me stop. So being emotionally balanced is strictly dealing with internally you how in touch you are with your emotions. If you're being triggered, you're not emotionally balanced. And for the most part, people who are being triggered, you know, they don't even know when they're being triggered. So therefore, being emotionally balanced has to do with you being in touch with your emotions, understanding what your emotions are, understanding your emotional pattern, and then when situations like that occurs, or if you have any type of blockages, you know how to remove it, you know how to transmute it, whatever the fuck. Now, in addition to that, we also talk about being mentally balanced. Well, it's pretty much the same baseline understanding, which is now when for you to be mentally balanced, you have to understand how your mind works. You have to be aware of everything around you. How is society is influencing the way you think? Or better yet, how does society is training you to think? But as you're becoming mentally balanced, then you could see what they're trying to do and how they do it. That's why in our society, it's no secret that everybody is living their lives based on a fucking image, based on who they should be. And that's what we call self-image. But anyway, and then you also have to understand if you're going to be mentally balanced, what's going on with your culture. Every culture is biased. This culture does this shit better than everybody else. Yeesh, nigga. But that's how we do it. The way you do it, that's because that's the way you know, and it's the best way. So all of these things are shaping how you thinking. You cannot be mentally balanced if other people or other things are influencing the way you thinking. You know what I'm saying? You're just following the crowd. There's nothing about being mentally balanced there. You're just following the crowd. Average. You average Joe. And average is it's abnormal. You're not supposed to be average. How can you be average when everybody's different? This is crazy. But anyway, all I'm saying is, being mentally balanced, it requires for you to understand how your minds work, for you to understand how your mind is being shaped, how is it being influenced, either through society or, having political perspectives or all of that shit is shaping the way you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're living in America, you've never been to any other country, well, this is it for you. Like, your reality of what the world is probably going to be this. And my friend, there's a whole other reality out there. I'm just saying. Again, it's just giving you the baseline understanding when it comes to how I help you to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And then of course that how we will get into more details. That's why I have the Patreon and other stuff that I'm doing, that helps you to give you a lot more details about your emotions. And but ideally speaking, I'm giving you, what I'm saying, like the main understanding of what that shit is. And only then, even if you want to take, let's just say Jesus, right? One of the best example of Jesus that I always love is when, the guys, when the Jews, or I can't recall, the Pharisees, I think it was called, but I guess anyway, they brought over this bitch. They said she was a bitch. What I'm saying? She committed adultery in the middle of the day. What I'm saying? This is what the law says. Nigga, what do you say? His response to me was one of the best response, and the reason being was because it was also there was emotions involved in it. See, these guys, when they came to Jesus asking him, this is what the law says, this is the logical, this is the intellectual aspect of it, this is just the Judge Dredd part of it. Then now, as he was writing some shit down, whatever the fuck he was saying, then they asked this nigga, "What the fuck, nigga? What's up?" You know what I'm saying? What you gonna say? And then Clarence, Jesus, and then Clarence said, "Yo, nigga, whichever one of you motherfuckers who's without sin, you throw the first fucking stone." So what that response included an emotional that you just looking at it from a biblical from what is right. But not all of us is right. Why are you even looking at it from what the fuck is right? Now that right there, that was a fully loaded, like that was a complete answer that came out of a perfect man. Meaning, or if you don't want to say man, perfect son of God, I don't know who's watching. Man, fuck you. A perfect man. Meaning, a man now who's in touch with his fucking intellect and at the same time being in touch with his fucking emotions. That's all that shit is. And that's why you can't neglect your fucking emotion. It doesn't make you a bitch. When you add the emotion to shit, it gives you a better perspective, a broader perspective. How many of you motherfuckers, you work hard, you got your shit, this is your shit now. But then when you add a little bit of emotions in it, it takes, if you see somebody else hustling, you might want to give them a hand. Or maybe not too, depending on the situation itself, because helping somebody doesn't always necessarily mean you reaching out to them. Sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker fall. But the bottom line here is this: being in touch with your masculinity and your femininity, that's how you see the bigger picture. And as you're looking at the greater picture, now you are attaining your highest level of consciousness. You become the enlightened one. You better look at yourself as the fucking Illuminati, not the bullshit niggas sucking dicks to get to whatever the fuck. If that's what you want to follow, whatever the fuck. But the true Illuminati should be you, the bright one, the shiny one. Anyway, I mean, shit, niggas been bullshitting out here for a second, man. ah, anyway, so, oh, all right. In a nutshell, as a spiritual healer, that's what I do. Now, if you're coming back, baby, you already know. Get you. Hey, I'm just gonna keep going, but you already know nothing but love. Let's break some bread. That's what we do here. This is always gonna be a holy communion. It's always gonna be love. That's what we do here, and I don't want it to be any other way. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe me? I'll take a lie. Fucking, I'll take a detective, a high detecting dictators. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't even have to believe me. but I'm willing to take a lie. De- Detective Task, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? To tell let you know how much I love you. Man. Anyway, so you already know, baby. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Don't don't make me speak too much. Oh, you know I can go there. Let's not do that. All right, let's be adult for a second here. All right. So that's what we do here, guys. Welcome back. You already know. Now this is the part of the process because I'm looking at the time too because I tend to whatever. But because we're gonna keep that one short. Um, as a spiritual healer, guys, if this is your first time or if you're coming back, this is where I get to talk about spirituality a little bit because everything and everything that I was even mentioning about being mentally and emotionally balanced, all of that shit is from a spirituality perspective. And with that being said, and everything else that we'll be talking about, it will be out of that. So it's only fair, and I always like to take the time, to tell you a little bit about what, spirituality is, right? Did I do that? My fault. You know what I'm saying? Did I do that? I guess I did. Huh? Stop. Stop. Anyway, so guys, yeah, so I always take the time to talk a little bit about spirituality. Obviously, spirituality being the tool that I use, to convey some of my ideas or what I think, can help you, or it's pretty much, what I'm saying, the mirror that I hold in front of you for you to see yourself. And that's what we're doing here. So spirituality is that key. So what the fuck is spirituality, man? You know what I'm saying? Spirituality, the short answer, it's you. It's yourself, it's your life, and everything that it entails. It's your death, it's your rebirth, it's religion and more. Because the word spirituality derives out of spirit. Now, when you're looking at yourself in so many words, even the Kybalion say that we are a living mind. So, if only you were to know your essence, or even as you are delving into your essence, then you realize, you are, as I like to say, a living, thinking thing. You want to change your life? Well, change your mentality. Your interpretation of life has to do with your mentality. That's why when you know better, you do better. So that is your essence. Even me talking to you now, although I'm using words, but those are a reflection of my mentality, my understanding. So our essence, in essence, you are a living thing, a living mind, as the Kabbalion says it. Let's keep it professional. A living mind. I was just talking my shit. And a living thing, if you get it. Yeah, it's all good. Listen, I'm not hating on no fucking Kabbalion. That's what they say. Fuck it. That's what they say. But I know what I say too, and that's what I just told you. A living thing, baby. A living thinking thing. But most importantly, if you want to call it a living mind, which I do understand, because in essence, everything has to do with how you think, how you see everything. That is our essence. So again, to me, that's why when I talk about spirituality, I just told you it's just you. And of course, as now you delving into learning who you are, that's when there's something called the occult, which is part of spirituality. The occult now is those sacred texts, those mysterious wisdom, Sufis, Kabbalion, Buddhism, whatever the fuck book, that all of these books, they have one thing in common. Despite of whichever languages that they use, I'm saying, the Chinese say it a certain way, Voodoo say it a certain way, in fucking whatever the fuck, ultimately what this shit is referring to, it's yourself. So in essence, it's helping you to understand that hidden side of you, the side that is not visible, or let's just say the invisible side of you. Now, those are the manuals. That's why if you ever learn anything about the occult, some of the basic shit you would learn is to they would let you know or help you or shed light for you to see that you have a conscious mind, and then you know what else you got? A subconscious mind. The sub is under the conscious mind, so therefore you don't see it. It listens to everything before your conscious mind even listen to it. Now, if you're asking me, your true conscious mind is your conscious mind. Is your subconscious mind. But that's a whole different conversation. For the sake of this conversation here, what spirituality or the occult is doing, and then you'll get those similar terms, the hermetic, occult. It's all hidden. It's all, what I'm saying? All that is referring to, oh, we're gonna expose all that shit tonight. All that shit is fucking talking about, to make it simple, plain and profane, niggas. All this shit is talking about is that other aspect of you. Is giving you a deeper understanding of who you are. Outside of dick and pussy, outside of your mind, you have a subconscious mind. Outside of you working hard for everything that you do, you got to get whatever the fuck. You also have the power to manifest. Oh, how can you do that? Oh, with your frequency, with your thoughts, whatever the fuck, your imagination. That is letting you know there's more to you than what you appear to be. So, therefore, when we talk about spirituality, or someone is talking to you about spirituality, and you somehow feel like, what the fuck is he talking about? There's a reason to it. That's because you're ignorant to your own nature. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Otherwise, you would have been conscious. So, out of ignorance, in other words, out of stupidity, when people talk or hear about spirituality, it's almost like, it's wow, what the fuck is this? It's not the basketball game. It's not anything that you fucking know, because you were never trained to know that you are more than dick and pussy. That's why when we're talking about spirituality, the biggest misconception is out of ignorance, because you don't know who you are. You don't even know your essence. You identify yourself only with your senses. And because you do so, there's a whole chain of action and psychological event that are taking place as you're thinking that way. Then for you, death is a hard stop. Then for you, money, that's what matters. So you only become concerned with what I call the self image, anything outer, anything outside of you. And because of that, guess what? You got to wear Gucci. Gucci makes you feel better. You're doing good when you got Gucci, nigga. Now your self image has become your self esteem. But it's not really self esteem, but in your mind, that's how you look at yourself. That's why you want to be seen and and validated by others. You're a people pleaser, a dick sucker, to be honest. Just being honest. But all of that stems out of ignorance. But anyway, that would be one of the misconceptions because you don't identify yourself as being more than just your physical body. Then now you have the people who became a little more conscious. That's what you would call spiritual. Then now they're aware of their spirit. Now, that's why these people would say it's important for you to meditate. You know what I'm saying? Let's work on your third eye. Even the conversation that I'm having here. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not spiritual myself, obviously, but I'm just trying to put it in perspective for you. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you listen, man. It's. Come on. Anyway, let me stop. You always got to make it about you. Oh, well, I'm the one talking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's coming out of my mouth, isn't it not? Oh, fuck. But anyway, then for other people, again, out of ignorance, not knowing their true essence, they look at it as maybe it's religion. Do you see what I'm saying? Or different belief system. That's how people think. But all of it is out of ignorance. Now, spirituality is also that and more. That's why it is your essence, good or bad. But now with the occult, you have a greater understanding of what's taking place with you. All right, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Now, let's get into what we here to talk about. So this is going to be part two. I mean, part three, I should say. Forgive me, or I apologize. To how you have to open up your heart to your inner child. Strongly recommend that if this is your first time watching this, that you check out the first one, the second one, and then this one. But I'll do my best to summarize it just to bring you up to par because it all comes together, right? So now we're saying now, looking at society, right? So we're talking about, to know who you are, to be able to see beyond the veil, knowing thyself and it will set you free. All of those good statements. What this is referring to, as you truly get to know your essence, you're becoming conscious, you know, and then that's when everything else starts. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. What I'm truly trying to say here is that we noticed for you to attain your highest level of consciousness, you would have to be in alignment with your true self. And for the time being, I'm going to call it the true self because a lot of people use their image as who they are. That's why you have to keep up with the Joneses. That's where, what I'm saying, a Gucci pants, a Gucci whatever the fuck becomes a representation of you. That's idols. You worshiping idols. You made it you, but it's not your true you. Your true you, it's the internal qualities of values. When we're talking about self-esteem, we're talking about integrity. Like I always tell people, if you think money is everything, then you will do everything for it. There's no secret, man. Again, how are you looking at it? How conscious are you about you? You being the perceiver, because beauty or the beholder. We say it all the time. If beauty is in the eye of the beholder, this is the eye that you need to focus on now. And this is where I told you guys, you cannot serve two masters. Your target, my target, has become the divinity. And that's how we became one. And for you, obviously, it became your outer self. And that's why you'll suck dick, you do anything, because if you believe money is everything, nigga, you just gonna do everything for it. That's the way it goes. There's no way you're gonna think money's everything and you're not gonna do everything for it. Then money's everything, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have integrity. All of a sudden now you have your proud. No, you must have really think that it was not everything at first. Then now you can talk about integrity. Niggas, there's no fucking secret, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you to understand the design. See, you're not conscious enough to understand how you're being conditioned. Oh, you are in the belly of the beast. Oh, this is the abyss of the belly of the beast. Look at the size. Look at the side the fucking society that we're living in, man. People don't even talk about love. The more animalistic you are, the better you are. The dumber you are, the more you fashion shit. I mean, it's by design because you're not valuing, or you were never trained to even look at yourself as more than what you look like. So now, for you to have any sort of self-esteem from the, you have to deal with the true self. I mean, it's almost like a no-brainer, but hey, I guess I'll say, oh, nigga, that's the dumbest. I mean, listen, I'm doing my best, man. I don't know. I mean, I hope I'm not offending anybody. Or I hope it didn't go over your head because there's obviously nothing here that need. Well, again, you never know. It's not for me to say. I'll say this, and that's not for me to say. But I'm gonna do my best. Like this is the dumbest way I could. I mean, I'm trying my best to dumb it down to the best of my ability. It's no secret. You don't see you. There's more to you. You don't see the divine qualities in you. Well, you're going to reflect a life that doesn't show those divine qualities in you. That's why it is important for you to love yourself so you can love somebody else. Because if you don't do it, there's no way you're going to do that. You're going to love somebody else. That's why when you're talking about marriages, the society that we're living in, it's all a facade, it's all images. A lot of people have been married for a very long time. Marriage is that deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. Like, so now when the nigga trying to be himself, you already know. All hell break, you know what I'm saying? I mean, break loose. Because now at this point, it's like, as you've never seen this before. But anyway, now to go back, because I'm gonna make sure that I stay in alignment because this is the last part. Okay. We're not gonna add a part four. This is it. So when you're dealing with the self, because in my past recording, I've been trying. The point I've been trying to make is to help you to recover or to get in touch with yourself. And without you being in alignment with yourself, there's no self esteem. It's not even low. I mean, it's none of it. And then now you also have a society. I'm trying to help you to understand. Even I have a recording where I was saying, how the fuck do we get to publicly accept, like us devaluing ourselves? And the minute anybody were to say anything prestigious about them, it's oh my God, you're not humble. Like what the fuck? This is the because in practicality, in actuality, now if you don't understand it, obviously you're not gonna see that. But anybody who ever, let's just say Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, whoever the fuck, if they didn't believe in who they are, they wouldn't be where they are. Nothing can be done without you. Even ironically, you sucking dick for it. You're still making it happen, but you don't have enough belief in yourself for you to do it the way you want to do it. Then now you think sucking dick it's how you got to do it. So either way, it's still you, and that's why we would say whether conscious or unconsciously, you are the creator of your life. Whether you accept it or you disagree with how your mind is being shaped, at the end of the day, it goes through you. You give the approval. Now, that's the you I'm trying to resurrect. That's the you I want you to recover. That's the you now that's going to say, that's the one. That's going to say no to this bullshit. To say, I value me, my qualities, my gifts. It doesn't matter if you disagree. I'm glad you disagreed. It's still you. Keep doing you. Never stop. And guess what? You already know. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. I'm gonna do me. There's no if and buts. There's no compromising here. And that's just the way it goes. And when you do that, ironically, there's nothing selfish. And let me take the time and talk about this. Self love has nothing to do with being selfish. Selfish is exactly what we were talking about. People coming. I mean, when you see life from an outer perspective, that's what selfish is. Because now you're looking personal gain. Yes, it does involve you. That's what I mean. I guess in so many ways you're saying self. And again, just to show you, nothing can be done without you. But now the you part now had identify yourself now with the external. So it's just for the benefit. Now, who you hurt doesn't matter because you're not concerned with your own feelings. Like the fuck, nigga, I don't even give a fuck about me. You think I'm gonna give a fuck about you? That's what selfish is. Now, self love, on the flip side of it, it's you saying, I give a fuck about me. I'm not gonna fuck you over, baby. That's when you're trying to put yourself in that person's situation. That could have been me. That's you being in touch with your feelings. That's you dealing, having self love, or being in touch with your divine, your inert, your internal qualities. So, how do you come back to you? I'm helping you to come back to you, and that's just the beginning stages. Because where you truly need to go is to be the one, become that Christ-like. But first, you would have to first accept you. There is a you. You know what I'm saying? That's, not the self-image. There is a you. Just look at you for a second. So first, you have to accept you. And I did a whole video on that, a whole recording on that. Check it out. But I'm just bringing you up to speed real quick. And then at that point, you would have to, and that's what it means to be born again. Automatically, you become born again. What you're doing is you have accepted Christ as your Savior. What you're saying is there's more to me than just being a physical self. Now you start to see there's a spirit in you. Well, you're gonna have to nourish that. You're gonna have to nurture it. So what you need to understand, and I also talk about that too. So as we're living in a society where you're going by your self-image, from the self-image comes there's a chain of event that's also taking place. There's multiple things that are being created because you looking at yourself from this perspective. That's why there's no secret. You have that was the cause, and then there's a bunch of effects that's going to take place. And what's going to create, what's going to take place now, that's why we're living in the belly of the beast. That's why we seeing, what I'm saying, greed. That's the way to go. Gucci, a phone, money, niggas holding money like a phone and shit. Like that's where all that shit comes from. Because now I'm the hype, I'm the shit, or I'm a big spender, then therefore I am somebody. And that's just a small part of it. Or you're keeping up with the Joneses, you get the point. Or if it's not on that level, then it could be your accomplishment. It's what determines you. At the end of the day, this is you being everything else but you. You have your pants down. Right? Showing up your booty hole. Like, eh. You know what I'm saying? Now in that type of life, there's no love. That's why you play those mental games. It's all about being over somebody. It's all about your image. Now, if you're gonna marry somebody, you gotta, I mean, just like, just like Will Smith said it. You know what I'm saying? The bad marriages. When him, like, what they're saying is, nigga, I'm fake, you fake. We're working the fake shit out. But if neither one of them have decided to no longer hold to whatever images that is, or to be true to who they are, then that's the only time you're gonna see a fucking divorce. You know what I'm saying? Another way of saying that could be, man, what I thought of this bitch, that's not who she is. That's because you were not looking at her for who she was. So then now when you get to find out who she was, it's not pleasant. And it's never going to be pleasant. Then now you're living a life of anxiety, depression, and all this fucking misery, all those bullshit, those toxic relationship, you know what I'm saying? Fucking now has became the whole thing. I'm listening to niggas who are supposed to be, what you're saying, I guess, dating coach. What they really teaching you, you got hurt. Guess what? Now let me teach you how to hurt other people. Because that's all I'm seeing. Oh no, that's because you give him the pussy too fast. Now you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get him by the balls. You gotta squeeze some balls out there. Go get him. Now, those or your relationship expert. Oh, y'all gotta stop fucking with me, man. For real. You wonder why I drink? You wonder why I smoke? Woo-wee. You wonder why I do it? You wonder why we call you bitch? You wonder why we call you hoe? Huh? Huh? You wonder why we call you a hoe? I have said, well, what's your body count like? I'm saying, you got a whole, you know what I'm saying? Hey. You wonder why we call you stupid? Anyway, guys, just bear with me here. I'm just having too much fun, all right? Happy Saturday. It's been cold as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, now you guys are stuck with me. So, hopefully, you guys are having a good time. But anyway, there's always something, to get out of it. Trust me. Now, the self. There's nothing beyond it. And here's something else too, and I think that's necessary to explain. I mean, to touch on. A lot of times we devalue ourselves, thinking humble is the way to go. Whereas humble has nothing to do with you knowing your value. In fact, humble has everything to do with you knowing who you are. Because when you're truly humble, you know your value, but what you do, you don't put your value over somebody else. Let's just say if you were a fucking doctor, just because I work at Walmart, dog, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, you're not gonna throw the money on the floor for me to pick it up. In fact, when you step at the cashier and here I am taking your money, you say, "Hey, sir, how's your day so far?" Oh man, okay, so you having fun anyway, man. You never know. Hey, just keep on doing it, man. All right. Oh, you having a hard time? I hope it gets better. What time you guys close? Oh man, you'll be done soon. Get a beer, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But if you me, like I'll be showing up like, yo, my nigga. What's up, dog? What you smoking? Let's smoke some shit, baby. What's going on, King? Everything good? You never have to know what I do, what I don't do, how wise, how stupid, none of that shit. You always gonna have a nigga good time with me, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because you all my equal. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand, you know what I'm saying? I mean, boundaries too. I also know who I am too. But that's all part of the mastery. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That's all part of you knowing who you are, but valuing yourself. But most importantly, you know what I'm saying, knowing who you are, I mean, it doesn't mean you're not humble. So it's a political bullshit, which is there's no practicality in it, meaning there's nobody in life I know who say fuck who they are and then who became successful. Show me who the fuck that is. These people always have self confidence. It's always like I didn't know what I was gonna do. I took a chance or whatever the fuck. It was always that kind of story. So in no shape and form does like that's why I call this shit. That shit is tricks. That's okie dokie right there. Because I don't know anybody, even Obama. Like me know that doesn't value themselves like to a certain level. Meaning you put yourself as nothing, you do nothing, and you get nothing. You feel me? Like, am I missing something here? What? Am I missing something? So there's no actuality. It's no like it's it's that's magic. That's really that's what's the word that I'm looking for? That's that's hypnotized. That's you being hypnotized. It cannot be any other thing because it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? But out of ignorance, get it. My heart goes to you, baby. That's why I'm here. But I want you to understand it though. That's that mirror. Look at you. I want you to see yourself. So now, dealing with the self, you got to deal with the self. And as you're doing so, that's why you want to learn how to be vulnerable. Because your vulnerability, what that is doing at first, you're going to feel naked. Yeah, hey, listen, every first step feels that way, baby. If you didn't fail as a baby, you wouldn't be walking today. It's okay, champ. Pick yourself up. I got you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because what you're doing, you're building your inner strength. That's why you gotta live and speak your truth, regardless of how hard it is. But guess what? It's gonna get better because ultimately, like as I have done the work myself, I have walked that path. Can guarantee you, my friend, you will get stronger over time. And that's what building your self confidence is. Another, your inner strength. That's why now I could be comfortable with who I am. You say whatever the fuck you want to say. Nigga, what you eat don't make me shit. So it's living backwards, man. When you're trying to please other people or you're living backwards. You're living backwards, man. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, so there's a whole bunch of shit that comes with it. Because now, when you look at yourself from a self image, then self blame at some point it's going to be part of your package because you're looking at yourself from the way other people look at you. So if there's a mistake in how you want to be perceived or how they should expect to see you, then it is a problem for you because that's what you have identify yourself with. You are to their mercy. I know how you guys do it. Just when I thought I was strong, you're fucking me up. Just when I thought I got it. Oh my God. So now, anyway, let me fast forward. Oh, already an hour. Okay, so let me say this real quick. So, now you develop something called self blame. And when you always blaming yourself, that blame always comes for shit that you don't do. You missed the goal. You didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? Everything was perfect, and then you slip or you fumble the ball. It's always the shit that you actually were supposed to do that you didn't do. So the shit you did not do. But then now you're blaming yourself for that. Oh, I can't even live with you. Because how dare you? Man, I feel your problems. I feel you. Yo, I feel you, dog. I feel you. You can't stand yourself, huh? That's how ugly you see you are. See how ugly you are? Can you look at yourself? Oh, man. So, anyway, so now it's important for you to understand, self blame. And I also talked about the haters, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But it's all relevant too, because that's what when you're dealing with those living courts, what I'm saying? Then what you have your haters, all of that derives out of the self image because you're not looking at yourself, you're looking at the image, you tend to only look at the results. So you only see such and such got it, and then I don't have it. I mean, because you're looking at the end results. So when you have that mentality, you'll see a lot of these motherfuckers, they are gamblers too. And they are gambling with their life too. Because it's always luck. So when somebody has it, oh, they lucky. Oh, you not lucky because you already look. Oh, I'm exposing you, motherfuckers. Then because you always look at it because you don't. There's no self. There's no worth in you, and you know it too. That's why you suppressing your own self. So again, nothing could be done. You never seen a beautiful girl. If you ever experienced that, regardless on how beautiful she may appear, if she's not in touch with that, she's always gonna look at herself as being ugly. She's like, okay, that's how you see it, but that's not how I see it. That's why that narrative, that inner feeling that people have about who they are or how they identify themselves, that's what's determining their lives. So again, you can see from that example, you look at yourself from being nothing, you are going to be nothing. In fact, you are nothing. N- That's why for me, I can't fuck with it. That's a turn off to me. Shit, I'm not even gonna hold you on that. Well, that's a turn off for me. Come on, man. Fuck out of here. Like your life is worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you're not making anything count, is there anything you're doing for you? What are you taking pleasure in? Even a game, or you putting yourself in it? Like whatever the fuck. What are we doing? Mm-mm. That's gotta go. That's trash. That's gotta go. Oh, we don't deal with trash. That we're not doing at all. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say, again, this is all about this, the self-esteem. So when you start to align yourself with yourself, that self-blame perspective, now it's turning or has to turn or has to change into a self caregiving or self caregiver or taker. That's where I always was talking about. You have to support yourself. Meaning, if you fell the first time, well, do it again. Get up. Well, that's you supporting yourself. And I was also talking to your guys about, because when I was talking about the fact, how did we get to devalue ourselves? Because when you don't have other people supporting you, you're not going to support yourself. And that's why, I was telling you guys about the Beyonce documentary that I was saying, that I was watching, where her mom and dad, they had a fucking, whatever the fuck, they invested into these motherfuckers. Gee, where I came from? Nah. I was listening to Omarion. You know what I'm saying? He was saying how his mom was supporting him. Because when you do that for a kid, you give them, it's that layup. You're pushing them to believe in them. It's like it's synonymous. You see how, like the let's say the little bird would try to teach the mother bird would try to teach the little bird how to fly. Okay, mommy's gonna be with you. You come with them, and then they have to fly. So that self-support, you supporting them, that's what you're doing. Yes, you can do it. I believe in you. When they say that, I believe in you. Then this motherfucker said, shit, now I can fly. But for me, shit, nigga. I'm saying the people I was raised with, they even try to kill me. See, these people are giving their lives for their kids. Now, the motherfuckers I was raised with, well, I was illegally adopted. I gotta say that. You know what I'm saying? And they never really, my identity was stolen because I never knew who I was, in terms of, who my real family was, or nor the real name that I have. Like, they gave me a name, and that's the name I've been running with. So from the start, I mean, I was already fucked. Yeah, I came from an organized crime family, so I don't know if I was kidnapped. At this point, nigga, I'm rolling with the punches. But all I could tell you is that I'm good. We made it out. I tell you, and we made it out on all different planes and reality. But anyway, can you imagine like growing in a family like that? You know what I'm saying? The abuse, it's like, and all of that shit again, that's why you'll see all of us in other families, you know, a, you were seeking for just an additional hug. What was missing that you didn't have? And then now you're being raised. That's why I was telling people, you got to be careful. The whole idea of mom and dad is good is good. I understand it. Assuming that mom and dad got it figured out. Because if your mom and dad is also missing a few hugs, that's why they were able to pass down that bullshit to us, right? It went from generation to generation. Okay, then. So I'm saying that to say there was mom, there was dad. That's how it was able to pass down. Or perhaps there was no mom and dad, but it's the same results. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you were already fucked. The fuck? You already fucked. Just by you being born who you are with your last name, yo, listen, you already have a white man last name. So this is you coming in, you already fucked. And they were fucking you so you could be fucked. Oh, make no mistake. They were fucking you good. Oh, yes, sir. sir. Yes, sir. And that's the effect that you're seeing now. That's how bad they fucked you up. You know what I'm saying? And all you're doing is recovering. You got to know your position. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. Going back to your essence, going back to you. So going back to having the support, I'm trying to show you how impactful that is. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? And if you have a mother or a father, you know what I'm saying, that's overprotective, that could fuck you up too. So ultimately, what we're truly talking about here, at the end of the day, you know better, you do better. It all comes down. That's why you always have to stand up for yourself, because if your parents don't, you're not getting the support from there, you're gonna have to. I mean, you're gonna need that support, especially as you start to align yourself to your new self now. Because now you got to keep in mind, you're no longer seeking for approval. Then people will start looking down on you. The way you'll be able to muster up or to stand up to all that is through your inner strength. That's why you have to readjust. You're gonna have to get to know your true self. You got to go through that, trying to you reassess what how you were and how you are, and now you changing things. You're making it based on who you now become. So that's why you have to replace the self blame, the person that always worry about the shit that you didn't do, with the person now who cares about what you do. When we talk about gratitude, it's you acknowledging what you have. This is you dealing with you, because now you're going in. Oh man, it's beautiful. Oh, you listen, you're gonna be looking good, baby. And that's where we're trying to get you to go. Seek for the kingdom of God. There's no shortcut, baby. The only shortcut, the only shortcut is you. It's the I mean, it's no shortcut. Yeah. Listen, hey, I hope I had something better to say. You know what I'm saying? I understand the day and age that we are with the fast. Yeah, I mean meditation, because through meditation you are opening yourself up, or opening up your third eye. And guess what? That's what the work is. You now delving more into your essence, who you are. You reassessing yourself. Like I've used an example for me. At one point, I thought I used to be a little bit socially awkward. So as I was doing my shadow work, because by you being in alignment with you, you will automatically do your shadow work now, because now you're paying attention to you, and then you're seeing, why was I acting this way, or why did I feel that way. But then when I choose me, nigga, ain't no socially awkward. Fuck the weather. Fuck the game you watch. I don't want to talk about it. Now, if you want to have a nigga good time, if you are in alignment with what I want, nigga, we're gonna have a good time. I don't even have to lie to you anymore. So, but all of that has to do with me doing that work, but reassessing everything. That's that realignment as well. So as you are pretty much recovering your self-esteem, or you becoming in alignment with you, to build your self-confidence, then at some point you're going to have to create your boundaries too. And I talked about that. The boundaries, it's a must, because this is how you are defending yourself. And you have your boundaries out of love. Like, I don't fuck with you. I will never fuck with you. Not because I hate you, but this is for the well being of myself. Even that, it's peaceful, dog. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Just take your L, and it's not love, nigga. Or shit, nigga. You take it as you want to take it. Yourself. It got nothing to do with me. I'm just be me. I'm I want to see how entitled you are to this. Oh shit! Please surprise me. I want you to surprise me, motherfucker. I want you to surprise me. Man. So you have to replace that. You know what I'm saying? Because when we talk about, that's why there's a saying that goes, you got to know where you come from for you to know where you're going. When you start to focus on yourself and you replace the self blame to like a self caregiver, now you become your own support. And that support is going to have to be done. So I was using the kid example or the family example to show you, like if you don't have anybody, you're going to have to become that for you. You're going to have to cheer yourself along the way. And you do that by acknowledging because, when you look at yourself, only then you could see your progress. Because before you were looking at what you didn't do. That's what being grateful is. Now you're in yourself. Listen, man, although I didn't work out, you know what I'm saying? I only work out one day last week. It could have been 0 day, dog. Because one is not zero. Is it not? Okay. And you can't tell me zero equal one, nigga. What this is doing is, and that's why I always like to call that cycle, you're putting yourself, the more, there was a Chinese experience with a guy, it's not necessarily the same shit, but the part I want you to get, there was, I guess, this water, he was saying, I love you, I love you. The other one, he was saying, I hate you, I hate you. I mean, they behave differently. That's why you could see Beyonce or Omarion that we were talking about. That kind of support they have from their family. Come on, man. They were flying with their mom and dad. You could do it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And then eventually they're gonna have to pick it up. And they will pick it up because they had enough support now. They know people believed in them. Now they have no other choice but for me now to believe in me. So you gotta understand that. And it's the same understanding now you are applying to yourself. That's why when we talk about parents, we all got to be careful because your parents could be the worst thing ever. Shit, if in my case, well, not my true parents, but the one who actually illegally stolen my identity and all of that. But if I didn't know, if I was not privy, I mean, if I wasn't in somehow have access to that information, it doesn't. I mean, I'm saying, in fact, my transition, I'm saying, part of my journey has to do with me having to deal with that. And that's also mainly the knowledge or the message that I want to display to a lot of people. And that's why the occult tells you for you to become you, you have to kill your parents. And that is not a physical death by all means, but they understand for you to be you, nobody could be around. Have I not